I'm here today to talk to you about the Metabolic Restart campaign that we're going to be running, and specifically the results of a study that was completed in Germany in 2023. So anybody who takes on the Metabolic Restart 9-day program will have different motivations for why they want to do it, the results that they want to achieve, and their reasons basically for completing the 9 days. So before we have a look at what the 9 days consists of, its benefits and how it's completed, I'd like to share with you the results of the study, specifically on the blood level parameters that were tested, because there are some really phenomenal results actually in the positive impact that the metabolic restart has on the body itself, the gut, the intestines, the digestive system. So the Metabolic Restart was created by a guy in Germany known as Roy Eppel. He's a sports scientist, he's a nutritionist, he's a personal trainer, a health coach. He owns Bodystreet Fitness Studios. And what's really insane is that the results that are achieved from the Metabolic Restart program created by Roy are that they're not achieved over 2, 3, 4 months. They're achieved in the 9-day period, which is a really short amount of time to see the results that we do see. So some background information on the study. The study was completed in November 2023, and they looked at blood parameter levels from 28 participants, 18 of which were women, 10 of which were men, and the average age was 47 years. The biomarkers that were measured in the blood are those that you can see on your screens now. So we looked at glucose in the sense of fasting, which is the amount of sugar in the blood and can be a really good indicator of the risk of diabetes. Total cholesterol, so this was a combination of what's referred to as both bad and good cholesterol in your blood, and cholesterol is basically fat lipids that are carried around. The gamma GT, this is an enzyme, and basically the higher the levels of this enzyme, the greater the risk is of liver disease. So we're looking to reduce these so that we're starting that process of detoxification and reducing the risk of liver disease. They specifically looked at LDL cholesterol, which is known as bad cholesterol. It's the low density. They looked at insulin, which is another hormone produced by the pancreas, which helps to move blood glucose from your bloodstream to create energy. So the less energy that we have, the less metabolizing that our body can do. It looked at triglycerides, which is a type of fat that can promote the risk of heart disease. And finally, it looked at the HOMA index, which tells you how much insulin your body needs to be able to keep your blood sugar levels in check. So this can help to identify early levels of diabetes. So let's take a look at the results that was followed. So it's really important to mention firstly that there is a weight loss identified. So on average in this particular study, 3.5 kilos of weight loss was recognized, which is an insane amount in a 9-day period. What's really important to remember is whilst this can be a program for weight loss and has been designed to promote weight loss because of the increase in metabolism, the actual bigger benefits that you will see of losing weight and specifically reducing body fat are going to come after the 9-day period. The 9 days is about getting your body into that zone of being able to efficiently and effectively burn fat, which comes back to these blood parameter levels that we're going to look at. All of these changes contribute to a healthy metabolism and therefore weight loss following the 9 days. So on your screen here, you can see significant improvements in glucose, insulin, and the HOMA index levels. The reductions in all of those indicate a risk of a lower risk of diabetes. So this is really, really positive in actually bringing our body back to its balance levels, back to what's considered normal levels for your body, and taking away that risk of developing type 2 diabetes. This shows that the metabolic restart is sensible and efficient in a measure against insulin resistance. Next up, we have the gamma GT and the cholesterol levels. Again, reductions in both of these, significant reductions after the 9 days. So this shows that there is a progression in the fight against fatty liver disease. So when we talk about detoxifying the liver, detoxifying the gut and the intestines and digestion improvements, we're really looking at doing that from a blood parameter level. This is going to reduce the effect of non-alcohol induced fatty liver disease, which is a really, really good indicator of improved gut health. We looked at cholesterol and triglyceride levels as well. So bringing down those blood lipid levels can have a really positive effect on cholesterol, meaning that we are reducing the effect of reducing the risk of heart diseases so early on. Again, just within the 9 days. So we can see here that from a blood parameter level, this study demonstrates how useful the metabolic restart is for putting a complete reset on how our body processes, how our body metabolizes, and the real need to actually do a detoxification and do a cleanse on our gut so that we can get our body back to the state that it should be in to be able to have successful fat burning and therefore achieving fat loss after the 9 days. We also looked at some qualitative results whereby they looked at would the program be recommended, the satisfaction of the program, and actually the craving of sugar as well. So we can see here that there was a real high rate of recommendation and satisfaction with the program, showing that those that completed it were happy with the results that they achieved. Whether that was for gut health improvement, whether that was for weight loss, they were happy with the effects felt on their body and the results that they saw in the study. They also looked at sugar craving for sweets and whether this was reduced or not. And as we can see here, on more occasions than not, actually that sugar craving was reduced. And the reason for that is because we have stabilized blood sugar levels. We're not getting those peaks and troughs that we would otherwise be getting. And therefore our desire or our craving to have something sweet, have something sugary to increase our energy levels has actually been reduced. They also looked at the sensitivity to sugar and sweetness after the 9 days as well, and found that actually the sensitivity was increased and therefore they didn't need as many sugary foods to fulfill that craving. So whilst we are trying to maintain good habits, that's not to say that we won't ever go back and fall into old ways, but it shows that our body can adapt and adjust to better ways of doing it. So in conclusion, it can be said that the metabolic restart is great for the prevention and elimination of metabolic syndrome. It's really good for boosting our metabolism, and it's great for being able to reduce the risk of diseases, specifically diabetes and heart disease. The change in diet and the intake of the qualitative, high-quality metabolic drinks shows that there's a lasting effect on insulin sensitivity and therefore bringing down the desire for sugar cravings. It helps overall on a blood parameter level to improve things such as cholesterol, triglycerides, and therefore it can help us to reduce the amount of fatty lipids there are in the blood. There was a positive weight reduction of 3.5 kilos. Again, to reiterate, just across that 9-day period is where that 3.5 kilos was seen, which is going to help reduce the risk of liver disease. So therefore, it's a real optimal tool to be able to balance our gut and put us in a healthy step forwards.